The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Watch your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
Welcome back to the best no judgment zone space in the world, because neither one of us have any law degrees. I am too cool for school. Suffocate.
You wear your sunglasses in the day?
I wear my sunglasses in the house so I don't see a mouse. The motherfuckers run fast and you see the blur. Your day, it's not good.
Yeah. You know the viewing audience is gonna wonder if you're high as a kite right now. And there you have it, folks. He's sober for now.
I put my shades on and let me kiss my teeth.
I'm not your average Joseph. Why are you kissing your teeth? Why are you kissing your teeth?
I just, some people know.
Some people know.
If the kiss teeth means something to you, it's for you.
It's for you.
If not, it ain't for you. That's it. And we are the Podical Sons.
Sons, baby.
Start the show. Folks, welcome. Like, comment, subscribe.
All of that.
You are not fans. You guys are supporters, and we do appreciate you guys. All
love that.
Love straight through.
Love that.
Yes. All streaming platforms possible. PodicalSons.com. Don't be shy. Stop on by. Get the latest and the greatest hits, and then some from the episodes. So let's go.
Let's go. I'm good, man. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. We are recording on the Friday.
Yes.
We record on Friday and stuff, whatever. Salute to like the fathers that do get the message and everything. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
We were just kind of occupied on this Father's Day. A lot happened.
Yes.
I lost my father recently.
Yes.
And when you get this, it'll be the Tuesday, but on the Saturday, buried my father. And on the Sunday, we're going back to the graveyard for Father's Day. So it's a new feeling. So we don't know how it might be on the Sunday and stuff like that.
Right.
So this is why the original SON day is on a Friday.
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 And we're getting fried. So he's practicing from now with the glasses. He's not there yet, but we are going to get fried. I tell you that much.
That's not without a doubt.
I'll tell you that much.
So yes. So how the hell? Well, okay. Well, let me say this.
We got polls? We got
polls.
But you're going to say something special.
We got polls. No, I just want to know this. Now that, like I said, you're more of I don't say expert.
Right.
Because I want to say we don't want to champion glorify stuff.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as you have history and previous knowledge about losing a parent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What kind of words would you use or tell people like myself and other people who's lost a parent? Because now I'm in my 30s pushing 40s.
Right.
And I feel like all my good friends has lost at least one parent.
At least one parent.
One parent already. Right?
Yeah.
And there's others and stuff that have lost both, like such as yourself. But
right.
I want to say a good portion of stuff have lost like one down and everything. So does it get easier?
It gets easier. I mean, that's the one thing that I tell a person who's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as it getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I never use the term it gets better, but it gets easier. I remember the first couple days after my father passing, just going by the house and just sitting down on the front porch. You know how we do when we go down, we just congregate on the front porch. And just listening for the footsteps coming down the stairs, because
you think it's time to come down.
That's how it often happened, right? Like you would hear the footsteps, and okay, Dad's coming down. He's gonna look out the front, greet everybody, go in, get his tea or whatever he needs to get, and then come back out and join the conversation. And you're just waiting for that to happen, and it doesn't happen, and you're like, oh yeah, it's no longer gonna happen, right? So it's like that. I think like the first few, I want to say maybe month or so, it was like that, and slowly that expectation of those things, of what you're so used to, start to go away.
The new normal.
The new normal.
Gotcha. See, I look at it where so I had a moment.
Right.
I've had a moment of stuff where I thought about my father and stuff nostalgically, shed tears and fell and leaned into
you're gonna
that.
have more than that.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm more than that one more.
Sure.
I tell
Not
you
doubting
that.
that. I'm pretty sure. I just look at it stuff as where, like, that feeling, I don't like it. 'Cause you can't put a Band-Aid on that shit.
No,
you
you
can't.
can't.
That's in the hot.
You can't. But again, like when I say it gets easier, right? Because before, like when I get like those I call them flash memories. When you're just sitting down out of nowhere, you get that memory, right? Before, when it happened, it's like the like sadness, eyes water up, this, that, wish you were here type of deal. But now, honestly, when it happens now, it smiles and a joyful feeling, because I'm remembering. Mostly when it happens, I'm remembering is if it's like, it may be something funny, or maybe something that he might have said, or something that was joyful, right?
Right.
It's not a sorrowful thing. I think after a while, part of it getting easier is that you've accepted it, and now the memories, now you can focus on like the good stuff, right? Like the good things that happen.
Well, yeah,
as opposed to just oh, he's not here. You remember, oh, when he was here, or if he was here, he would have said this or that.
Yeah.
Or he would have made fun of this. Or you know what I mean?
Well, because I even look at like, all right. Okay, so one memory of my father, with you and I and my father, we share.
Right.
I remember this was back then when we had Blackberries, because we have iPhones now.
Yes.
We had Blackberries and stuff, whatever. He was there and stuff, whatever. Same thing on the porch, congregating and shit like that, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, my Blackberry trackpad and blah, 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 whatever. You're like, oh, yeah, you like the trackpad and stuff, whatever, but you prefer the ball or something like that. And then he's like, Blackberry? You tell your woman you have a Blackberry? Yeah. I tell my woman I have a banana. I'm like, no, nigga, that's not what we're talking about. Like, you took it to the extreme. God.
And we definitely can't tell him we have a banana in this day.
Exactly. Because that's a me too coming for you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, like the good memories and stuff. See, for me, I feel like the good memories and stuff are always like present, because I feel like I've tried to reprogram my brain in general when it comes to like the bad. We were talking about that the other day. We were talking about like the bad and stuff, whatever. Your brain is like possibly this big. And the bad is like this big in your brain. Yeah. And like only in the frontal part. And then probably behind it, there's a wall separating all the good.
All the good stuff.
But the bad, that focus and stuff, whatever. So I'm like, no. Before I think of one bad, let me think of 5 good.
It's a good way. It's a good way to start it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start it.
So that's just what it is and everything like that. It was a thought to me and stuff, like I want to say this morning. Right. Before it came through and everything to record, I'm looking at them stuff. I was like, damn, we've been doing this for a hot minute and stuff like that. I'm like, I started off married. Yeah. On the podcast. Yeah. Marriage didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Bounce back, start dating and everything like that. Yeah. Have a boo. Now the loss of my father and everything. I'm like, yo, this is like growth. Y'all owe me more money.
This is like, y'all can go through the episodes and chronicleize Marv's life.
My life is all I have. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at it, I was like, huh. It was like another chapter. Right. Another chapter, another level. And I feel like once you level up, certain things around your world becomes easier until once that easiness has now vanished, now you're on your way going to the next level and stuff that, right? Yeah. So like from the podcast, the stuff we talk about from resilience training, loss of loved ones, death is not a stranger to this show that we talk about and everything. So I feel like if you're a day one supporter, like, hey, you could probably navigate some of the, like, I want to say some stuff like this too.
Oh, for sure. And if you're a day one, you kind of know what you're right. You kind of know how we think or how we feel about that, because I mean we've touched upon so many different figures that may have impacted us in our life, whether they be like within the music world, whether they be within the film world,
right,
or just in general, right? And we often give our point of views from our perspective, and it's just this time it's someone that is super close,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like you have an idea. I mean, obviously it's even different when you're that close to the person, but it's part of life. It's really a part of life.
It is.
And
I think working in healthcare, like somebody was saying, working in healthcare made me morbid, but it's not true. I just feel like we kind of have a grasp and stuff like, these are numbers.
Yeah.
Like I want to say like, not to get like, I don't want to say misconstrued or not personal and stuff like that, but like when you work in healthcare, these are numbers. They might be somebody you might know, they might not be and stuff, whatever. But that does come to healthcare.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I want to say like in all versions of staff and everything would see it and stuff too. So I feel like you've not like, you don't get jaded, but you get used to something and stuff like that. So no,
No, I get it. Like,
there was a video I threw it in the chat where the guy's eating his Chick-fil-A in the house and there's like gun busting and stuff. And he just kind of like went from the couch to sitting on the ground until he heard like another, and he didn't flinch. He still kept biting his sandwich. It's because you're now conditioned and you're kind of used to some of this. Is it healthy? Probably not. Yeah. But at least if you give your time to decompress, and analyze and fully take in the situation, you'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. And it's exactly what you're saying. Like I had a coworker who used to tell me all the time. He was from I believe it was Iran.
Okay.
Right? And I forgot what we were talking about, but I believe it had something to do with violence within the Toronto city.
Okay.
And he would be like, "Oh, this is nothing." He goes, "When I was like a little kid, like seeing the building next to us getting shelled by bombs and mortars, that was like everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this doesn't scare me or shock me at least in a bit." And you think about stuff and how things fall into perspective for certain people is you just can't label it, or you just can't figure it out, because one man's terror is the next man's ice cream and cake. Yeah. Right? It's like it's just that simple. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of perspective.
It is, man. It is.
But like I said, it's like to have the good memories to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy with a man like your father, because just the jovial spirit that he had. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think there's ever been a time where I've seen your father upset. Not to say that he doesn't get upset, but there's never been a time. It's always been a laughing situation. Always been an upbeat situation. I'll tell you,
from the son's side,
yes,
there's been a time he's been upset. A few times. One of my favorite times he's been upset, was when I got to the car accident. I got to the bumper to bumper, and I got guys getting ready to sue me.
Right.
So the guys getting ready to sue me now. I was under his insurance.
Yes.
And then he got the lawsuit too and stuff like that. He's the main thing. So he's looking at stuff, whatever. The man called me over. He's like, what are you doing? I'm at the house chilling. I'm coming by. I'll be there less than an hour. He came stressed. He was wiping his forehead with that. He's like, $250,000. Where are we going to get this money from?
So you had to explain to him how it worked.
So I was like, we had insurance. I had insurance. I was under your insurance. He's like, can you call your mom? Like, can she help us with some of this money? It's like, calm the fuck down.
Let me try to explain to you how insurance works. And I explained to him.
He's like, everything's a fucking joke to you. I was like, majority. And then he's like, I had to give him a beer to kind of calm him down. He's like, So why don't you explain this over the phone? Why did you make me drive over here stressed and like think? I was like, I didn't know. Like, what was going on? I just wanted to be certain we were talking about the same thing.
Right.
So he's like, he gave me like a Denzel finger. Like, everything's a joke to you.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't use the word Janelle?
No. He looked at me. He's like, kissed his teeth and stuff. And he's like, I'm going home. I'm like, all right, I'll keep you posted on the lawsuit. But I told him when they threw it out because the guy was trying to fraud.
Right.
The guy was trying to fraud. Statute of limitations for car accidents is like 2 years.
Yeah.
Folks, 2 years. Statute of limitations. Huh?
2 years.
2 years. So like the thing and stuff is that the man that the bumper to bumper was in the November of 2009. The man issued the lawsuit. It was dated for October 21st, 2011. Had I ducked, I guess, what do you call people that subpoena people? Like like you call them the servers?
Sir, the person who serves the papers.
Yeah, well, like if I'd have ducked that person for like at least a week and change,
right,
it'd have been thrown out. But they caught up to me because I normally don't answer my door and stuff to people. You have to announce, right. And I was expecting Ben's brother. So I was expecting Ben's brother and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry, come through. I'll pick you up. Like, come to my house and then I'll take you where you need to go. Right. And I get the knocking at the door. I'm like, yo, it kind of came quick. Marvin Blank? I'm like, yes. Here. I'm like, here what? What's in this? Am I supposed to sign for this? Open it up? It's not racist, but the man's name, he had a long name with some letters. It was like dun 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 dun. Versus Marvin Blank. I was looking like and Cecil. So it was like 2-on-1. I'm like, I don't know. We could take it, man. We could take it. Yeah, this is not a game. This is not a joke to you. I'm like, it is. But like I said, everybody's human.
Of course.
He had his good times, he had his bad times, and all the above. He is a jovial person. I get that side and stuff exactly from him. There's no denying that. Yeah. There's no denying the stuff that whatever. You know what I'm saying? And my sisters and I, we all got the same big ass forehead. It's like you need 5 fingers to fit on this bitch. See? 4, still space. Throw another one right there. You cover it up.
You cover it up.
5 head.
No forehead. 5 head.
5 head. So it's all good. He will be missed. R.I.P. Pops. And let's get to the proceedings.
Let's get ready to rumble.
So now let's talk about the first poll. Can beggars be choosers? 78% said no. How do you feel about this? Because I know a whole bunch of fucking beggars, and they choose a lot.
I was about to say.
They choose a lot. So I'm looking like, somebody's on coke.
I was about to say, majority beggars that I know, they got a list of demands. It's not really a beg for anything. Or well, you know what I mean? Just open air. It's usually very specific.
Okay. So let me say this. My soup kitchen dance.
Right.
We're happy to feed and help everybody. And this is not even a judgment thing. Call it what you want. But I feel that if you're in the need of food,
yes,
sustenance,
yes,
you shouldn't be that picky. Is it cooked?
No, you shouldn't.
Is it clean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. The hands prepared it. Vegan.
Yeah.
Standard meal.
Yeah.
They're getting so I was like, not a problem. But I'm looking like, we're giving free meals, right? Whatever you don't eat, you can probably share with your fellow man, or if not, trash it.
Right.
I have people come in there and stuff, whatever. I'm a pescatarian, so I need fish. You need? Pardon? What? I was like,
I didn't know fish was on the menu.
I was like, fish not serving here. Why you feel like this place is shit? I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. I was like,
wow.
I put the smile back on her face. I was like, my dear, this is all we have.
I brought the kids to the dentist one day. Mm-hmm. So I was chilling in I was chilling in the car and waiting because I didn't want to wait in the dentist's office. So I went to Tim Hortons for you guys, Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
But I went to Tim Hortons. I bought myself a coffee, and I think I had a sandwich and a muffin, right? So while I'm sitting in the car eating the sandwich, right? I was drinking my coffee. So this guy,
so you offering him? Okay, go
right?
ahead, go ahead.
So this dude approached the car and he's like, asked me if I had any change that I can spare, any money that I can spare, and so forth like that. Now I had change, but I just didn't feel like I don't know. I don't know if it was just the Grinch in me that day or whatever, but I was just like,
I heard Jay-Z say in an old song, how can I help the poor if I'm one of them? So if I give back to myself, then that's a win-win.
right.
Continue.
So then I sent them away. So now I don't have no change or nothing like that, right? So while he's walking away, I called him back and I said, I have this muffin, right, that you can have if you want. So he's like, thank you. And he took the muffin, right? So I'm there chilling, I'm sitting in the car. And he came back. And he goes, I just want to say thank you. I didn't realize how hungry I was until I ate the muffin. I was like, you know what? Buy yourself something to wash it down with. He's like, thank you. I was like, that is somebody who was looking for something and didn't even realize what he needed. But took whatever he could get. And once he got it and realized, hey, shit, I needed this more than I knew, he was grateful. And if you're begging and somebody can't give you what they want, but they can give you something, why refuse it? Why refuse it? If it's gonna help you in some sort of way, some sort of fashion, take it.
Choosy beggars. Well, because I look at it simple, just like that. Because you don't have to.
No.
You don't have to.
No.
But you're obliging to like specific circumstances of what I feel like a lot of people are saying the beggars cannot be choosers. But then we know tons of times. So I feel like, yes, beggars can be choosers.
Oh, beggars will be choosers.
Beggars will be, exactly.
Yeah.
Beggars will be choosers and stuff like that, whatever. Because you're like, don't worry, I'll get you and stuff like that next week. Don't give me next week, give me now. I need it now. Be like, next week is in my ability.
Yeah. I can't afford it now.
I can't do now for you and stuff.
Right.
Oh, you're no fun. You're useless. You know what I mean? I'm like, bitch, you came begging.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So
what was the poll? What was the final numbers on that?
78%.
78% said no.
Yeah, beggars cannot be choosers. I'm like, okay.
They met a lot of decent ass beggars. Accepting beggars.
Yeah, you know.
I'll just take what you give me.
I seen people, shit. I remember I seen one of my friends. We came off a highway somewhere. I can't remember exactly.
Right.
And then the same thing. There was one of the guys waiting for change and stuff, panhandlers. And he went and he, like, I guess he put like whatever coin he had and stuff, whatever, right? So the guy's walking. He looked at the coin in the cup and he's like, oh, great. 70 cents. Bitch! You begging for change.
That's 70 cents more than you had.
Some of these people not even in debt.
A lot
So
of them
that's
are not
70
even
cents
in
making
debt.
them up.
Yeah.
We got regular credit card debt, house and mortgage and stuff and everything like that.
Of course.
They doing better than us.
Mm-hmm.
Next poll says, should you sacrifice your happiness for your kids? And it was a 50-50 split.
50-50 split.
Talk to Tings. Tell me how you feel.
I feel like you shouldn't sacrifice your happiness if they can do for themselves and stand on their own 2 feet.
So if they cannot, you have to sacrifice.
I think if they're not able to, then you may have to sacrifice a little.
So give me an example now, because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Like, for instance, if you had a child who's paraplegic.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, gotcha.
In a situation like that, that child from the moment he's born to the point where he becomes an adult, there may be things that he cannot do for himself and is going to be dependent on others.
So,
and
okay, go
in
ahead.
and we live in a world where you can't expect a lot of people to help.
True.
So it may just fall on you to just be that helping person.
So where does the help go for help? Because if you're this person providing all this help, or you're the parent doing all this, when do you get a break to say like, okay, this is some spatial performance, you can gain back some kind of happiness or something like that?
Hopefully it's not just a single or a parent thing, like hopefully like it's a support system like you have, because you are going to be burnt.
Of course.
You are going to have those days where you need to be you, right? And, like I said, hopefully there's a mom or like a grandma or a sister or a brother who knows of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And they are of that mind that everybody needs some time to themselves. And you know what I mean? They're happy to give you that break. There's a lot of times where I've seen it a lot of times where you'll have parents that will take advantage of family members like that. And be in a situation where they should be responsible for their kids, but because they want to be so free of any responsibility, they'll leave the kids with grandma. Or they'll leave the kids with, the sister, aunt, or uncle.
So that's they're not sacrificing their happiness.
They're not sacrificing no shape or form of happiness.
That's the shit. That's the shit. So, okay. I just look at it where the universe does work on a balance.
Right.
Right? And I think you should hone in on the balance. But I feel like some people, they tip favor heavier to one side than the other. Should you sacrifice your happiness for kids? From my point of view, absolutely not.
Right.
These kids eventually will become grown on their own, do their own shit and all. But when I hear people who's like, I'm buying my house for my kids. No, you're buying your house so your kids can get the money because they don't want that shit.
No.
And because they look like they grew up in this and stuff, whether it's old school feel and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And if they're pulled on nostalgic like tugs, then they might say like, you know what? They'll keep the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, other than that, if they're in a financial situation where they're probably good, that's just coming extra coin to them. They're gonna break that bitch. They're gonna bust it down.
Bust it down. You better hope that they have extra amount of money that shit stays in that becomes generational, part of generational wealth.
Something.
Because that's the only time it will. Because you're right. Your kids most likely will never live in the house that they go. First and foremost, part of the independence is having your own. So sometimes a child doesn't feel successful until they can move out of their parents' house and have a house of their own. If they have a house of their own, what the hell are they going to do with your house? Other than sell it.
True that.
Other than sell it, right? So you're absolutely right.
And then even that now. So let's say, I want to say you're as a parent, and let's say, for example, you don't want to go to nursing home.
Yes.
You're expecting your kids to just automatically take care of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, I heard some parents make some things like, the sacrifices I made for you? The least you could do is take care of your mother.
The least.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was looking like, that's not right. So
Nah.
I'm about to say, who did you take care of? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right?
Did you take out grandma? I didn't see Mima in this bitch. So like, I look at it where I understand, a parent would do so much for their kid.
Right.
but don't go so far and stuff where you might lose, I want to say, the essence of you and your happiness. Because
No, at some point,
when you're sad, it would reflect on your children.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
The unhappiness and like the stressful times and all the above.
Yeah.
Like it has to reflect. I was just saying, some kids are just built resilient and better than others.
Right.
Where I had a friend I actually grew up with and stuff, whatever, for a bit and did not know that they were homeless or without. I mean, not homeless, but they were like without like damn near anything. Like they just have a shelter. Because I went there a few times and stuff, and I'm like, yo, the house was cold and stuff. And they're like, oh, we only turn on the heat like nighttime and shit like that.
Right.
I'm there in the daytime.
Right.
So I'm looking like, oh, okay. And turns out the confession like Usher came out when we were adults.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, they didn't really have heat like that and stuff. But they used the oven to kind of heat up the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like all types of shit. I'm like, and the man's like, yeah, like, yo, when I used to come through your house and like, you know, if your mom or somebody was chefing up some food, you see me smashing. I'm like, I only eat when I'm hungry. Like,
right.
So if I expect you to eat when you're hungry too. So I'm not really focused on somebody else's plate. I'm focused like, you know, like go and do my own food battle.
And it goes in many respects, in many conversations, in many walks of life. What you always say, you can't heal what you don't reveal. So if you don't know any of that, why would you think anything different? Right? Like this person is operating as if everything is okay. You're gonna think everything is okay.
That's done. So I was like, I didn't think nothing with it. So then now when we're having this conversation, we'll say I'm probably about like 21-ish. Around that time we're having this conversation. So when I had the conversation with them, I was like, are y'all good now? Or, you know, what's the situation? And then set person like, that's why they're in school to make sure, like, you know, they're not going to give their kids the life that they grew up with. Right. So this is why they want to bust their ass and do their ones and twos and shit like that. So I'm like, well, yo, don't hesitate. Like, you know, when we go out to eat, you know, this one's on me because I wasn't aware enough. Right. I wasn't aware enough to kind of see this. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm aware enough to kind of know, like, yeah, something wasn't right. Yeah. And now you know better, so you do better. Yeah. So he's like, no, I don't need no handout and everything. Like, it's not a handout. It's just considered like, I owed you a meal. Yeah. You didn't even know it.
Yeah, it's not considered a handout or anything like that. And
pride is the devil.
I was about to say, you can't let pride get in the way either, right? But I mean, back to what you were saying with the whole parents and sacrificing. Your sacrifice is only there till they're an adult. It's up to you during that sacrifice to teach them and give them the tools on how to stand on their own 2 feet.
Agreed.
And then once you've taught them how to stand on their own 2 feet, you set them off in the world. Once you set them off in the world, it's supposed to be back to your time again. You're supposed to be back. You're the empty nester now. You're supposed to be able to enjoy the rest of your life.
Traditionally, yes. Have you seen the housing market?
Well, well, here we are. Here we are today. Yeah. Like where you can't send them off, but
because so like you got to sacrifice some of that extra happiness. Be like, look, your father and I, we're about to turn this shit to a porno palace, but clearly your ass is still living in this bitch. So clearly we gotta fuck when you go out with your friends.
But even if like they can't afford to go out and start making a living on their own, they should be well enough that your quarters is it like your living arrangement is just a quarters. It's just their quarters. They still have a life. They just need to stay at home until they can figure out situations. This doesn't mean that you got to be there every step of the way. If your plans was to see the world once your kids get a certain age, by all means, see the world. The house will be okay. You got somebody in the house. You can't stop living.
True. Very true. I just hope it does look like that from the parents that did say you should sacrifice your happiness. Yeah. And look at stuff as just like what you're saying. Like there's gonna come to a point where like you have to put your happiness first. Yeah. You have to put your happiness first. Yeah. And the plane, the gas mask, and air mask come down and stuff. You got to put your shit on before you put it on the kid. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. You got to make sure you're good and stuff whatever before all of this. And my things have been, and it's not being from a point of view and everything, but don't give yourself something that you can't handle.
That's the other thing.
Like if you feel like financially you can only fit the bill for probably like one child, yo, IUD, birth control, like dudes pull out, wrap it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's the other
Like
thing.
that factor has to come in when it comes to like multiple and stuff like that. Like it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's times and stuff, whatever, like that. When I have my son and stuff like that, whatever, I'm looking like, bro, you don't take naps? Like, yo, like
It's a lot, man.
NASCAR, shroom. And I'm not doing this every day.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, when I hear like teachers and stuff are burnt out, I'm like, yeah, you have my kid like maybe like 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 4 like parent-teacher days and shit like that, whatever. And they're going.
My kid plus 10 others.
That's even a small classroom. Most of the classrooms are overstacked. They're like 20 plus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, it's a lot to take in and stuff. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, we should be mindful about protecting our own peace first. Yes, you did do these things and stuff to get the kids and stuff to get here, but don't do the most. Like one kid might be your limit, whatever, then that's fine. You're having 4 and you guys are going through some things like, hell, when you got to like 2, something kind of like a light bulb should have went off.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, like the awareness, the self-awareness thing, because I think when you're self-centered, you're looking like, I'm going to fuck because it just feels great. You're right. Well, there's consequences that come with it.
There's a lot of consequences like that, man. And you know, for the dudes out there who just love planting seeds, just think about it. And you're not sacrificing anything, right? But you're also taking away from that child. You're also like that. Like, yes, there's been situations where a mom has to do it on her own. There's been situations where a father has to do it on his own. But there's certain things that a mom can show a child, and there's certain things that a father can show a child traditionally, right? They can play each other's roles
Because we're different.
because we are different.
We're not the same.
No, we're not. We're not.
But Marvin's a problem when Marv says he's sexist.
Well, I mean, there should be no problem at all in admitting that,
Continue. I'm hearing you.
right? So there's certain things that we each gonna give to this child.
Absolutely.
When you're a man with 20 kids, when do you have time to give each one of those what they need?
Boss, there's only 24 hours in a day. So even if you spend an hour with each kid and stuff, whatever, these kids need to sleep.
They need to sleep.
Like the rotation is up. They have their own, like it's a lot. See, I always look at it stuff as where we have to, it's the accountability aspect. And you have to just know for a fact that like, hey, this person's world might change. Like our world's like, okay, man and woman, when they come together and stuff and they make child.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, even in the process and stuff. These are things we have to look at and adjust and all the above. If the guy is there, he's playing his position as husband or boyfriend, etc., and he's playing his role, he has a role to fulfill.
Yeah.
She has a role to fulfill.
Yeah.
And they both come together and stuff and make this, like, you know, this greatness of a child and stuff where
Make it
not
work.
it's gonna work. Not and the other people around said father and other people around said mother,
Right.
help become this village. When, you know, a village can raise a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to say, if like parents don't know the let's say an adult talking to the kids, be like, "Ooh, stranger danger, fuck are you?"
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, Uncle Cletus has some words to the wise he want to tell you and stuff about girls,
Right.
and boys. Like I always felt like girls and boys, like if you have both parents, you should go on a date with both parents as a child and stuff for them. Because I want to say, girls, date your mom and date your pops.
Right.
See how a lady acts in public if you're a girl,
Right.
and see how a gentleman's supposed to treat you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I would hope that if the fathers or the mothers agree to it and stuff, whatever, they're going to be at the utmost stuff to show the child and stuff like, you know, set things. So it sets a precedent. It's like some kind of guidelines or something somewhere.
Yeah.
So then when some things are not happening in that world, no, this ain't right.
Right. Right.
This ain't right. I trained for this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
not what is in my training.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not in the manual anywhere.
Exactly. be like, you know, your father's like, you know, like say if the father's dating the daughter, I don't know, like, gentleman, he might pull out the chair, or you might like, you know, would you want me to order for you? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like certain type of things
Right.
to kind of prep him. She'd be like, you know, okay, sure. If the father and stuff is there, like, fuck you doing? Help. We're helping them to be better people. Better than we were.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a shit we didn't have.
Mhm.
Did you have that? Because I didn't have that.
That's one of the things that you gotta understand. And message to the other partners who may not be the biological.
Mhm.
If you're resentful, that's some fucked up shit.
Mhm.
If somebody's stepping up to the plate, because, well, two ways, right? If you're in a relationship and let's say the son from the outside marriage comes over to stay, right? Whether you like it or not, you being this man's wife or you being this woman's husband, you got to play that role. Not just the husband, but a fatherly figure. Not just the wife, but a motherly figure. Don't treat that child any different from how you treat your child.
Well, no, and that might be part of the thing where these people are like, fuck that. I'm not sacrificing my happiness for this kid.
You took the parent. It came with the territory.
I agree to that. And like I said, I don't want to dictate rules on what's what and what is what.
Right.
But I look at it stuff in my world, that works for me. That
Right.
dynamic works for me.
Right.
You love me, you should love my son.
You should.
Right? But a lot of people and stuff, they don't. And I don't know what's considered the norm from not. But if this is your world that you operate in and stuff, then it's up to the person who chose you. Because if I chose a woman,
Yeah.
and she wasn't for my son, why the fuck would I stay with her?
Why would you?
So that's what I'm saying. You blame set parent.
Why would you?
You blame set parent because
Right.
you're not putting your child in a position and stuff. I want to say that to help them win. I'm not saying it's a total loss,
Right.
but you want all support figures possible and stuff for this child to raise them up to help
Of
succeed,
course,
to
of
be the
course.
best they can be and all
Of
that type of
course.
stuff. And you have somebody else that right there be like, hey, help push me up. Spit on you little shit. Yeah, it's a different dance.
Different dance. I can't remember what movie it was. But dude went to go see his father in jail. And the mother had a boyfriend living in the house. And he told him straight up, said, yo, respect that, man. Because right now he's going to be more of a father to you than I can be.
Mm.
And so I looked at it and I thought about that. And it's like, how many men are willing to acknowledge that? You got some men that be like, oh, she moved on. Fuck her. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't your dad. Don't be calling him dad or nothing like that. But yo, if dude is playing the role of father,
We spoke about that last week. Humility.
yeah,
People need to know humility.
yeah.
And that's it. I'll leave it like that. Another episode for that. Let's talk about what's going on in the world.
Which this world,
Yeah.
I feel like we're in multiverse mode. like
Yeah.
I know one world can have so much problems.
So let's talk about the Disney Pixar world where Buzz Lightyear is kissing a same-sex kiss in a Disney movie.
You think that's why he might have gotten the name Buzz?
No, I feel like Buzz. I always thought Buzz was like a. See, I always thought one day I was tripping out. It was actually Sex Toy Story.
Sex toy story?
Woody is definitely a Woody. You know what I'm saying? And Buzz was like a vibrator. So,
Makes sense.
but I mean, like, Buzz was always short for was it Buzz Aldrin?
Buzz Aldrin, yes.
Right. So that's the reason why I know the name Buzz and stuff. Like it was trying to mimicry of that.
Right.
I think I'm just at odds and stuff with this whole Buzz Lightyear kiss thing. One is a prequel from Toy Story.
Right.
Two, well, I like the Toy Story franchise. You know, this is the first Buzz Toy Story spinoff that doesn't have the GOAT in there, Tom Hanks. T. Hanks, thanks for your support. You know what I'm saying? I look at it where you're not letting the kids be kids. And this is just my personal opinion, because I look at it where, yes, we're speaking about inclusiveness, equity,
yeah,
right? For everybody to feel welcomed and all the above. But there's not every movie and not every show is made for everybody.
No.
What I mean by that and stuff is that, okay, say I watch Snowfall.
Right.
I watch Snowfall and stuff. I'm watching Snowfall for, I guess, the brain work, the drug movement, the kingpin type style and all the above.
Yeah.
I'm watching it for that dynamic.
Right.
I might watch another show like Game of Thrones where like they might have like a gay leader.
Right.
In there, and I'm expecting that.
Right, yeah.
You don't have to always bring it crossed over and stuff to every show. Because if that be the case, how come I never seen a black person in Friends?
Yeah.
In Friends, I think Aisha Tyler, when she went on there when she was dating Joey, was the first time like they had a reoccurring black person role and stuff on there.
Right.
And then so what are you gonna tell me then? Because I'm like, and then if that be the case, shows like that, they come a dime a dozen where they don't have like a single black person and stuff in there. So I'm like, if we're speaking this equity or inclusive, everybody's included and everything like that, that has to be every show. So that means every show we expect some gay shit. Every show we better have some black people. But that's not every show.
It's not every show.
So if we gotta pick and choose, we gotta let these kids be kids, though.
Yeah.
And I feel like with certain type of things, like if we're trying to just implement certain, like, no, let's get to the mission, the story, the line about, remember, Buzz Lightyear is a toy.
Yeah.
This is a backstory for like a toy. This is in his mind,
right,
how everything was, why he is Buzz Lightyear. I don't really see the need, but I don't know. Pixar, Disney, they must know something that I don't, whatever, but I don't see the need for them to include the gay kiss.
Again, for me, it's the confusing aspect, right? Like you have the first 3 Toy Stories. Mm-hmm. It was 3 of them, right? Just
4.
It was 4. Okay, yeah, the first 4 Toy Stories. The first Toy Story, right? Buzz comes into town, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in direct competition to Woody, right? They both trying to impress this woman or this female doll character, let's say. Little Bo Peep, right? So from that standpoint, as a child, you may know that dynamic, right? That boy loves girl, girl loves boy. So you may get you get that, right? So you have this, you may already have this preconception that Buzz loves women or loves women. Plain and simple. Loves women. Loves women, right?
Right.
Now your parents take you out to go see Buzz Lightyear, just his movie alone. For me,
he's bisexual.
Well, here it is. For me, I'm looking at it as there's a female character in the movie also, right? I don't know where I was going in my head, but I thought they would have had some sort of like romantic encounter.
No, because M. Night Shyamalan wrote this, and this movie has a twist. Just like every M. Night Shyamalan movie has a twist.
I should have known. I should have known.
Well, because I look at
Shyamalan.
I don't flinch. I don't flinch too much, whatever, when you see, because I don't try to go into any movie, even if I know like the name or like the type of a movie.
Yeah.
Like if they make a video game movie and I play the video game, I'm not gonna go in there and stuff and just assume.
No,
right?
And I get that, right? And like I said, it's just I'm just going off of basically just saying, okay, maybe there might be some sort of because they always like to throw some little romance thing in
bisexual.
There. But this romance was he did kiss a dude, and you can't say bisexual because it's not like he kissed a dude and then kissed a woman in that very that same movie.
No, but I want to say the reason why I say it's bisexual is because this is prequel.
Right.
It's still same set character.
Right.
So it's just like the Robin. Like when they made Robin in DC and stuff, whatever, bisexual or gay and everything like that.
Right.
It's still the same Robin character.
Yes.
Right? And it's just giving you like different universes, different times, laps and stuff, but it's still Robin. So if it's not your average Joseph, here might be a podcaster.
Right.
Not your average Joseph in another universe stuff, maybe a garbage man.
Yeah.
Might be, it's still not your average Joseph.
See, but I could rock with that if the first 3 Toy Stories led him to be like, if they kept that same bisexual the motive.
Okay, but
right? I could rock with that and say, okay, you know what? I can expect for him on his own, like this is the way he is, and I get that from the first 3 Toy Stories. But from the first 3 Toy Stories, you don't get that, and we're at an age of certain reasoning. Remember, these are kids,
right?
They're not able to make that connection like that. It's still some of it's still fairy tale and fantasy to them. So now when they see Buzz kiss another man, it's like for some of them it might be shattering. For some of them, like, but I thought he liked girls. I thought like he liked girl dolls. But like, Mom explained this to me. Maybe that's why it's a PG movie. Maybe that's why it's a parental guidance movie.
Well, most of them are parental guidance because it's just like in the first Toy Story with those toys that got remixed and everything like that. The one, Sid? Yeah, with Sid, by Sid.
The Sid the remixer.
Yeah, like Sid had one with like it was like legs and a crane, and it took me years to realize that was a hooker.
Mm.
I'm looking like, what's with this sexy legs and this crane shit? Like, this is the dumbest type of toy. I'm like, oh, hooker, the legs and that. I'm like, I get. We know Disney has their kind of innuendo dance and all the above. But
right.
Going back to what you were saying, I don't feel like it's a need to discuss that in every other movie and stuff before. Because in every other movie before, there was probably no opportunity for sexuality to kind of come up. Unless it was in the script. Right. That's what I'm saying. They have to write these things in the script, but they're not writing. They're writing these scripts now. I feel like they're not letting the kids be kids, because I want to say before in previous times and stuff like that. Let's say we'll say Lion King.
Right.
Let's say Simba had a gay moment with Timon and Pumbaa or something like that. Right. They never wrote that in the script.
Right.
So they never wrote that in the script and stuff like that. Because not saying it didn't play a significance and stuff to the movie, but it's kind of like. There's gay people and there's been gay people in the world. There's been bisexual people and stuff in the world and all the above. Dawn of time. Yeah. So they didn't feel the need that it was necessary to kind of portray that. It was about losing kingdom, taking kingdom back, the Lion King.
Right.
What's the main purpose and stuff for the same-sex kiss, whatever, in Buzz Lightyear? I don't know. I haven't seen the flick.
Right.
But I do know for a fact that like if it was necessary and stuff, then they would probably dictate the same thing you were saying pertaining to the old movies.
Right.
Because you're looking like, this is a prequel. And in the other movies, I didn't see this. So this should have played a role in the other ones, but now you're saying it doesn't play a role. Excuse me, you're confusing me.
Yeah.
So that's the part of stuff. I'm looking at this like, yeah, let kids be kids. Because kids, man. Here's the thing. A dark comic, like kind of like the Dark Knight series.
Right.
That's made like for adult base.
Yes.
So that's the reason why like some of those DCs with the like the Robin being bisexual and everything, those are dark comics. Those more an adult kind of genre.
Right.
This is not adult like genre.
Not at all.
Because the Buzz I'm expecting is for Buzz supposed to be smoking on something. He's supposed to be buzzing from the damn weed smoke.
Right.
That's more adult like.
Right.
This is still childlike base.
Right.
PG, parental guidance.
Right.
It's suggested. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's suggested. Are we keeping the PG? Are we not? Are we saying that the I want to say sexual gestures and stuff for are PG? Or do they classify as PG? You get what I'm saying? Because if I watch a movie, we've been two hetero people and stuff like that, right? They label this as PG and say it's like a Lil Rascals remix or some shit like that, whatever, right? If they do the English kiss, not the tongue, they do an English kiss, whatever, right? Kiss.
Yeah.
And they do a little, fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I look at that and stuff and everything, but
we're okay.
Yeah. But if it's locking for like a little time, we'd be like, hey, what's going on here?
I'm curious to know how English the English kiss was.
All that Disney. You know what it
how
is.
the English kiss was? Because again, like,
See it for yourself.
What is the need? Like, what is the need?
I need to know why if it intersects with the storyline.
Yeah.
Because I look at it stuff as where you have a storyline about somebody persevering or like getting the girl they want or all that type of stuff. They see the girl, couldn't get the girl and stuff, so they worked hard, bust their ass off, became multi-millionaire, run to the girl and stuff now, and then try to swoon the girl and stuff with all the millions and stuff they had.
Right.
She was kind of the driving force behind set bootleg movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That like she was the kind of the goal and the capital and everything that you achieved and achievements was working towards that.
Right.
I just got to know where this intersects in with the story.
Well, I mean, and it's just like we were talking about last week with the whole fairy tale aspect. Like,
you said it wasn't damaging.
No, but I'm saying you can expect the kiss. You're gonna expect the princess to meet her Prince Charming or whoever to meet their Prince Charming, and the romance is gonna end up with a romantic kiss, and it's never gonna go any further than that because it's PG. But they don't keep the kiss there. So just like you're saying. I don't know. Was Buzz and Dude in close proximity where, you know,
I don't know. I didn't see it.
It led to something. I haven't seen it either, but yeah.
Watch the movie for yourself and find out. Well, they're gonna cuss me for this. Well,
they cuss you anyway, man. Go ahead.
Worst case scenario stuff, they'll speak on it. They'll have their pieces and their segments and stuff, and then be viewed and ridiculed and all the above. Not everybody's gonna fit everywhere where you want them to fit. And I look at it stuff as adults or guardians or parents that we have to invest into these young ones, instill them with hopefully the quote unquote things what we might deem as good, because I want to say somebody else good might not be my good and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, I need you to shower once a week. I need you to shower every day. So I mean, like, your good and my good are two different levels and stuff. But
and what I noticed recently is the goalposts move constantly.
With what? Parental?
With what's acceptable to what's not acceptable. What's not acceptable this week, next week may be acceptable. They're always inching the goalpost.
That's why you do your thing. You do your thing. If you're the ones that get swayed that often, and you constantly move the goalpost when they're moving the goalposts and stuff for her, that's a you thing. Hopefully your world and my world, we don't intersect. That's why I look at it and stuff. But then they'll look at, like, you know, it's perspective. Like, how do you think people view you? Because people, like, for me,
right,
I feel like people view me as, okay, like the jovial joker that might not know nothing. Because people assume a lot of things, they assume. But that's, I'm like, I look at them like, haha, you're wrong. So how do you think people view you?
I think people just view me as somebody who's like just a typical music person. Whatever
Are you multifaceted, or you just, that's it? That's more like, that's all you...
I feel like they view me as like an entertainer and nothing more past that. Yeah. Unless if somebody who may know me a little bit more than that, or have conversations with me, then they might have a little bit a different perspective. But otherwise than that, if you're just seeing me off of face value and basing upon what you see of me, then I'm pretty sure you just deem me as an entertainer. My level of, or my IQ or my level of sensibility, you may not get that off of what you see. So
you're saying people are wrong about you?
I'm saying people can be wrong about me.
How? Okay, so like often, are people more right about you or more wrong about you?
People, it's hard to tell because I don't know anybody's preconception of me until we sit down and talk.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the reasoning. That, like, when you come to the point of reasoning, because I heard some people said to me, I heard people say to other people, you know, I thought you were a bitch. You always think he was just standoffish. You always think he was such and such and such. And all, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
okay, people say I'm from the streets.
Right.
But I've never cheated on any woman I've ever dated. I've ever been with.
Right.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, what their misconception about me is that I'm the ultimate womanizer, I guess.
You know, I've only heard of one person having
Has actually given you an honest
has
review
given me an
about yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And have
just one?
Just one person who's actually,
And I'm younger than you, and I had like
Listen,
over at least
man.
like 30 motherfuckers come to me?
and you know what? It could possibly be just the way how I carry myself. I don't know. But like it's like only one person who's had a misconception of me. And they didn't even come to me with it. It was somebody else they went with too. And it said,
Did you correct them? Or did you go to them? Or did
no,
the person have to...
No, the person corrected them right away.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't buy that though. Because if I told you like this person is if you told me this person and stuff is like next in line to be Jesus and I know they're a piece of shit.
Right.
I gotta see it to believe in myself. So you can tell me all types of good shit for them. Like, no, they give warm milk to cats and stuff, stray cat. Miss me with that
But
shit.
there's some people that you can take the word as face value. Like for instance, I know you're a straight up forward person,
Right.
and you don't bullshit around. You're a straight shooter, right? So if I ask you for an honest opinion about somebody, I believe I can pretty much go on your word.
But you shouldn't fully, because that person's interaction might be good with me. The rapport might be awesome with me, and it might be shit to yours. Or even reverse. It might be Uno reverse, where that shit be like, that person's a bitch ass piece of shit. And then to you be like, what? They love me like the ice cream truck.
But you know what then? Then I gotta question that person. Because unless you have 100% total disdain for somebody else, you should be treating everybody on an equal footing. That's how I believe.
You're not wrong. I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I'm just saying that it's a lot more complex than the way you're breaking it down to be.
Right.
Because I feel like there's parts in there where you're going to gravitate to certain people a lot more.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And we have to look at like the extrovert, introvert, like that's one layer, social, antisocial, that's another layer and everything like that.
Right.
And you kind of presume a different kind of aura to set person.
Right.
And it can be either good for them or bad for them. And then myself and stuff as well. My thing is stuff like this, like you said, one person probably told you like so far in your life.
Right.
I've had multiple people, but then again, I try to make the window and channel of communication and stuff, whatever, to be vast and open with people from general, from off rip.
Yeah.
So I want to say, like, I've had, like, since I was young, since I was a teenager, I remember.
Right.
I had random people walking up to me, having conversations with me, telling me about their whole life story. I had a lady tell me, I came out of the doctor's office, I'm getting ready to go take the bus.
Yeah.
To go mind my business, to go home and shit from the doctor's office. This lady's telling me about some dude who be sending flowers from out of her yard. His name, I know his name is Robert. There's tons of Roberts out there, so I'm not really calling out particular.
Right.
She's telling me what color the tulips are. She had tulips out of her house.
Yeah.
Ask me where I know this lady from. Nowhere.
Yeah.
But some people and stuff, they just have that kind of drawn, like, kind of thing. Right. My personality is magnetic.
There you go.
And I feel like some people, and I create the space to have the conversation.
Of course.
Because it's not like it be like, oh, so my tulips, this guy Robert's stealing my shit. I don't give a fuck about no damn Robert. Me, I'm entertaining this shit.
Right.
Damn. You can't have Robert snatching all them bitches. Now, you sure it's Robert? You can't be blaming Robert and everything like that.
Right.
This person's feeling comfortable to talk to me now.
Right.
But if I was to go at them like, fuck about Robert and everything, they'll probably shut the hell up and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Me, I always try to make the window open.
Right.
And it's the same thing. Like, I guess that's why people feel comfortable, especially when it comes to the podcast.
Yeah.
To shoot me, like they'll hit me with topics more than before they hit you.
Right.
Because I guess the window be like, yo, this guy Marvin talk about every fucking thing. You're absolutely right. I'll talk about everything. Nothing should be taboo in conversation.
Right.
Right? I'll make that window and stuff open for everybody to come talk to me. Not saying you don't have that, whatever, but let's say before, it was never really like that because they probably thought or perceived you in one type of way.
Right.
Perceptions type of thing.
Right.
Now they're seeing, like, even with the podcast, they're like, oh shit, he's not only about music, but when the motherfucker going about music, Smooch is like, yo, put your seatbelt on. We're going for a music industry conversation. Nying.
Right.
Now but that's what I'm saying. Before they had one layer about you, then when they hear you, so say the sons, they hear you about like your thoughts about your father, sharing about your father, they're like, oh shit, you're letting off more.
Yeah.
And that will change because people will probably be standoffish to you. Let's say they're watching the show on YouTube and they're looking like, I kind of like the fucker with the shades on and the big shiny ass forehead, whatever, right?
Right.
But then you said some shit today, they look like, nah, that big forehead piece of shit, it was nothing today. That guy not your average. He came with that profound shit today. And then next you know what, there's like fuck a Marv campaign.
But you know, and you're right. You're totally right. Because even just from the aspect of let's put it in the aspect of TV shows, right? There might be certain characters on a show that you hate because the way the show is written, you only see one side of them.
King Joffrey.
You only see one side of them. But then as the show goes deeper and they start focusing more on another character, you're like, okay, oh shit, that person really does have feelings. Oh, he can be a nice person. Then your perception starts to change, right? And I think, listen, bro, I think with this podcast, a lot of people that have an understanding of me that they have not had before. Because again, what I'm saying is, for the most part, what I put out there is basically entertainment, music and entertainment, right?
Correct.
It's never a sit down conversation. Like conversating with you is almost like somebody feel like they're conversating with me because now they're hearing stuff that wouldn't necessarily come out unless they came and have the conversation with me. And that's why I say perception, I don't really know how somebody thinks or feels about me until we start having a conversation. Because you're right, they could totally see me in one light and never know that, okay, oh, he knows a lot about other things other than music, other than film and television, right? Like, he's actually a well-rounded person. Maybe I had Mr. Average, not your average Joseph, all wrong. He ain't average. So I get what you're saying 100%. But again, I've never had anybody come up to me and say, you know what, I thought this or I thought that or I thought this about you. Most of the time, people think that I'm just quiet.
So that's people's main perception about
People just think I'm quiet because I'm an observer. I love to observe. I'll observe. I'll take in the conversation before I say anything. And it's funny because I was in my aunt was doing one of those shit. I can't remember what company it was, but it was like one of them pyramid things. And so they had a group of us over and they were doing a presentation and they was going dot, 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 dot. And I was just listening, just taking everything. And he left me, he goes, why you ain't saying nothing? He goes, you're an observer. And I go, well, yeah, I like to know before I speak, I like to know what is it I'm going to speak about and what is it that you're actually trying to tell me? Because I don't want to speak out of place, first and foremost. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let me take in as much as I possibly can. And believe me, when I'm ready to speak, I will. You may not like what I have to say at that point, but at least what I'm going to tell you is something that's going to be well thought out based upon the information that you've just relayed to me or based upon what you have given me. Right? So that I've gotten. That I can say I've gotten. I'm a quiet person. I don't really speak that much. But I think that's my nature in itself.
No, I'm not saying, and I'm not.
No. I know you're not.
Which is culture.
Right,
but
right.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like part of the conversations that we have on the podcast and stuff is that not you, but like other people probably never had theory to it now. And listening to us having these conversations is now unlocking another level of self-awareness.
Right.
Because you started off saying one piece, saying, nah, people, only one person in my life and stuff. But then you changed it and said, people, plural,
right,
have told you that you were quiet. So people have different kind of perspectives and observations and stuff about you, or preconceptions and stuff about you.
Right.
When they know for a fact, like, yo, you're jokey and jovial, you'll crack your jokes and everything. Yo, the man said on one of the TikTok commercials and stuff, I like to suck titties. Titties and suckers. I was like, quiet people don't talk like that, okay, sir? Just to let you know.
Listen, we talk like that sometimes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Depends on what we're talking about.
Not on camera.
It's passionate.
Not on camera.
It's the passion that comes out. See, he's passionate 24/7. Every now and then, a titty will come out and make me passionate.
I'm always on. Okay, so let me ask you this. Tell me 3 basic skills, life skills that everybody should know. Just 3.
3?
3 basics from your POV.
How to read a room. 1.
Okay.
How to sway a conversation.
Sway a conversation?
Yeah.
That's a heavy skill. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Not everybody can have that.
I know. Ahead. And how to be humble.
And how to be humble.
Yeah.
I say hygiene. Learn to wash your ass and your body, take care of your hygiene, your look, and all that. That's an important life skill to have.
And this is the piss offness about me.
What's that?
Because I think that should be a damn given.
I just told you, Jebediah and them and stuff take baths like once a week.
I know. Listen, man, I was in the Michaels. I was in the Michaels. And
cut the check.
The person that was we were shopping in the same aisle. I got to the aisle after. And that person actually left the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to the aisle, that person's odor was still lingering.
Okay.
And I was like,
stomach sick.
And I'm like, how do you get to the point where I guess, what they call it, nose blind?
Yeah. Some people are nose blind.
You can't let it get to that point where you're damn nose blind, man. You don't let it get to the point where you're damn nose blind.
But I think
because we're not.
No, but when you're in it that long and stuff, whatever, then you've become nose blind. Like, okay, for example, I can put on cologne now. Today I'm wearing Prada. Right? Put on a Prada and stuff when I came out the shower, let's say approximately like 1 in the afternoon.
Right.
I can't smell it. But I know, like, when I walk into interact with other people, you smell nice. I was like hours ago.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I've already become nose blind to it. And some people just made peace with their funk.
How? Why? Okay, go on with the next. It's like certain things I just feel should just be a given. It should just really just be a given.
So I got hygiene.
Right.
The ability to cook.
Yeah, that's a good skill.
Even cook for fucking survival.
Yeah, that's a good skill. Yeah.
And I feel that listening, those are 3 skills and stuff. Like, 'cause people listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. So if somebody's telling you something and stuff, try and take it and try to understand and learn it. Don't be so quick to jump up and say, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Somebody's like, okay, so when you're leaving out tonight and you're leaving the last person to leave and stuff, just take the keys, lock it up, and you either take the keys with you or drop it in this Dropbox and stuff, whatever. If you drop it in the Dropbox, shoot me a text message and stuff like that. Yeah. Anybody that says yeah when you're talking,
do you know?
Me personally, I check out.
You know.
I'd be like, yo, so yeah. So you did fuck a donkey. You got footage? That's bestiality in some countries and stuff, whatever. But what do you mean fuck a donkey? I'm like, well, you weren't listening to me, so I had to say some shit for you to finally listen to me. So now that I know that you're listening now, what I was saying was X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I'm like, don't belittle me, because I'm not trying to belittle you. Don't patronize me. I'm not trying to do the same to you. Let's listen to understand each other. You have a point that you want to get across? I shut the fuck up and I listen. I have a point to get across. You shut the fuck up and listen. Listening is an important life skill.
Communication is a two-way street.
Yes. I don't know. So I was just thinking that pertained to like how people are viewing people.
Listen, if you need debating as a life skill,
they're just not your people.
just don't know. They're cave people.
Okay, so what do we consider a cave person? Because in any case...
Me, Tarzan, don't bait?
No, okay, hear me out. What I'm saying and stuff, whatever is that now, we live in a capitalist society.
Right.
Money runs shit. Let's say your pay grade is suh. Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis pay grade is suh. So we pay attention to people who make the bread, the ducats, the shishings, and all that type of stuff and everything like that.
Right.
You don't set the bar. You set the clean bar maybe, but the dirty bar, they said once a week they bathe their kids.
Their mentality is poor.
Good answer. I like that. That was fucking flawless. Smooth. Well said. Well said. All right, man. Let's get to the question of the week, man.
Question of the week.
Question of the week this week.
I commend you. Like you, that like we're at near the end. The shades gonna come off. We're near the all this time I was sitting here thinking,
You gonna pop that bitch off eventually.
If you just like bald the head, you might be able to pull the Isaac Hayes. The beard, the shades.
Yo, you know.
You might be able to pull the Isaac Hayes.
You had the beard and the bald head and stuff, and as a black man, you be alright. You be alright.
That's it.
So my brothers out there.
That's it. That's the combination right there. That's it.
That's it. So if you got like the Patch Adams beard, please make sure your hair on top is still there. Like, yo, please just make sure your hair on top is still up there. Question of the week, man. If you were guaranteed a correct answer to one question, what would you ask?
Meaning of life.
The meaning of life. I said the cure for AIDS. I will bottle that bitch up once I get that. Go slow, God. All right.
I'm about to make millions.
So the meaning of life. So tell me what you're unsure about meaning of life.
No, it's just so vast. I don't think anybody knows it. I don't think anybody can tell you the meaning of life. Everybody has their bit definition, but if there's one solid ultimate answer for it, I would love to know that.
You should. No, I think I'd appreciate the journey.
You appreciate the journey?
I appreciate the journey. I think, you know what kind of changed my perspective on that? It was actually Rick and Morty with that Dave game, or Roy, the game where they put the helmet on and then there's this person's life.
Yeah.
Morty played it one way.
Right.
And he was a husband, beat cancer, and then he fell down and died. And then Rick played the same character, took his ass off the grid. So it's kind of like, if you don't know anything, like, okay, this is all in God's plan or the creators and whosoever and stuff, right?
Right.
But if you don't have any idea and stuff of how this goes, you know you're gonna start winging some shit. You're gonna try to make this shit great. You're gonna be like, yo, let's say you were giving hand jobs for gas because gas prices is fucking high.
Right.
There's gonna come to a point in time and stuff like, I'm tired of everybody just coming on my hands. Enough is enough with the jerking. This is where I do better. And then you're gonna eventually try to make this change.
Right.
Right? So I feel like most of people's stories and stuff, like the meaning of life, your one meaning of life when you were younger, probably different from at age 40. At age 50.
Right.
So I feel like that will constantly kind of get remixed and stuff as we go along and stuff like that, because eventually you'll come away. I'm not saying like, yo, I think it's dope too. If there's one fucking answer, the meaning of life.
I mean, okay, well then
I'll copy your paper.
Well then let's put it this way then. The meaning of human existence then.
I think we're here to be food for another planet that's coming to devour us. And stuff.
Honestly, I think we're parasites and that the earth is a living, sentient being and we're parasites on its body just walking around.
So I can't share that thought that I've done put 90% of my life on the podcast.
Yeah.
Can't put some of my mind thoughts on there because I might end up in a padded room. And be a Podical Son type of different kind of show after that.
It'd be a different show altogether.
I'd be by your damn self featured, whatever, like Joe Budden shit. Joe Budden and Friends. Podical Son and Friends. And then, yeah, you could do that shit. It won't be Sons. But I feel like again, it's from the things, and I want to say things that I've seen, my perspective, information that I've acquired. I do feel like we are parasites to this planet, but I do feel like, I don't know if you ever heard this before. So if you have a jar,
Right.
you go to a pond,
Right.
just collect some of that pond water and just seal it in the jar, just put it by the window. Life will develop in there,
Oh yeah.
right? And then like some of the like the microbes and stuff in there might get bigger so you can see them, and life is constantly going, right? And I feel like when it comes to the planet, I feel like, to be honest, Earth was probably a piece from another place.
Yeah. I wouldn't
This
doubt that.
is my thing. It's just
I
a piece
wouldn't
from
doubt
another
that.
place and stuff for that. And then because we're in that right kind of zone,
Yeah.
where like sunlight and certain things and stuff, whatever, certain things can happen and develop and stuff over a period of time on its own.
Yeah.
And then now, I want to say, I feel like we were probably implemented from somewhere else, or formed from like that kind of, I don't say catastrophic, but I want to say like something, like an event happened,
Right.
how we were formed,
Right.
and it's kind of like, okay, now we've went to a point. It's just like a artificial intelligence.
Right.
It was only a period of time before these motherfuckers start thinking for themselves.
Right.
It's only a period of time that it's kind of like, yeah, you're supposed to play your part in this in the food chain, but now you motherfuckers want to think for yourself. And now you guys consider yourself on top of the food chain. We got some shit to answer for. But as I said, that's a different show in general.
That's a different whole series.
That's all. Yeah, exactly.
That's a different whole series altogether.
I probably wear a damn ascot for that one, whatever, to the side. Hello. And welcome to the marvelous mind.
We'll have the orchestra play.
What? Hell yeah. With the room with all the books and the fireplace. And turn around, hello.
Smokers jacking in the pipe.
Yeah, hello, I didn't see you there. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Today we're going to discuss squirting. And we're back to the bullshit.
Back to the bowl.
All right. Let's get to the Axe of Sons. First Axe of Sons comes from No Brain 00. What is the most attractive thing about you?
I want to see my personality.
Me too. Look at
I
us.
want to see my personality.
I think it's a personality thing because I feel like just me, I feel like maybe back then they made more, and I don't mean to be mean to you people and stuff, whatever. They made more ugly people back then.
Yeah.
I feel like the world we live in and stuff, it has a lot of beauty, like good looking people.
Right.
And if not, there's things that enhance your fucking beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Well, I mean, it's natural selection, man. I'm sorry, ugly people.
Yes.
it's how the world works, man.
Aha. Aha. This is very true. No one wants to mate with an ugly.
Nobody want to mate with an ugly person.
This is very true. So I feel like personality will help stand out, and certain things that you embody in your world and your liking and dislikes and all the above. Some people might feel like right at the alley and stuff like that, right? I look at it like this. I've always seen like when they're not so attractive people in a relationship,
Right.
the thing that they kind of claim on is like, at least I'm in a relationship, at least I'm married, you know what I'm saying? They be like, your husband, da, da, da. At least I got a husband. You know, be
Right.
like, touche. Instead of saying like, well, my personality stands out, whatever, it's like, no. I got some claim to fame. So I think for me, my claim to fame is actually personality. Because I feel like, again, they might look at me and they might have a perception. Because people's perception is one thing, but then there's layers to me. And when you have a conversation with me, you'll understand.
You understand, right?
Well, until you have a conversation with me, it's all your perspective.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Next question comes from not_Jim3. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Pray.
Yeah? Pee. I gotta pee. I pray in the shower. Yeah, shit, you pray, huh?
As soon as my eyes open, man, I pray.
Then
Then I get up and I go pee.
I pee first. I don't even look at the phone.
But you know what the funny thing is? Because sometimes my ass will wake up in the middle of the night to go pee.
Yeah. Oh, so you're thinking like that. Okay, so let's think about morning. No,
Right.
Jim said morning, in the morning.
Right.
So if you wake up first thing and stuff and everything, be like, dear Lord, blah, blah, blah. It's like, give me a minute, Lord.
I gotta have my business.
And then once I empty that out, be like, woo! I like to thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you for making that still possible through this urethra. The last one comes from, I like this name, Fizzy Apples. What is 1 minute too much? What is 1 minute too much time for?
That's a good one.
Planking. You never know how long a minute is unless you plank for a minute. If you plank, that shit, like your arms will get kind of,
Yeah.
and you look at a clock and it's like 28, 29, 30 seconds. And you're like, fuck, you gotta do another one. And YouTube ads. Fucking YouTube ads that you can't skip. They piss me off. I ran to 3 of them bitches today. They pissed me off.
Waiting on a response.
Over a minute? You know what I like to do sometimes? I
What?
probably did it to you and stuff too, because
that?
I'm just an asshole.
What's that?
When somebody send me a text,
Yeah.
like you put your information out there that you read set text.
Right.
So that when you send out the information, like say like, and I respond, and you finally respond back, and I'm like, oh shit, I caught him in the chain loop. I'll just hit random keys. So you're trying to type something, so I just hit random keys. So you see like the 3 dot bubble, your anxiety's going up. I'm laughing at y'all. Most of the times, I love doing the iPhone people. I'll be like, he's like, what is he typing? What is he typing? I ain't typing shit. Wait for you to come with your shit.
This idiot. You see what I gotta deal with, people. You do see what I gotta deal with.
It gave me anxiety for no fucking reason. You're welcome.
This guy. Now when I see Marvin's typing, I know
Yeah.
better. I know better.
I'm just there. I'm looking
I
like,
ain't typing shit.
yeah, I remember one day I was in a heated conversation with somebody on the gram. And I think like the post was something about like women are like I think Kevin Samuel said it before he passed, like women are discarded or should be discarded, or like after 35 and you're still not married, something's like a problem.
Right.
So this person like, boom, boom, DM me that. They're like, do you agree with this? I'm like, I ain't Kevin Samuels. I got my own thing. I'm like, no, we shouldn't discard anybody. Everybody serves a purpose out here and stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but sometimes you say something. I'm like, and they say, you say, I'm like, what do I say? So when they start typing, I was like, and it's taking a long time to respond, whatever. They're like, so I guess they deleted whatever. They're like, I feel like you had a lot more to say than I'm like, nope. You go first.
You ever take your phone out your pocket and realize that it did like some magical typing when you weren't paying any attention, and wonder how long has that person been wondering what you've been typing when you haven't been typing shit?
No. I seen that happen to people and stuff, whatever, before, right? Because, like, for touchscreen phone, motherfuckers are still out here butt dialing, whatever, right? And pocket dialing and stuff like that. But I kind of get it because, again, it's like one simple touch and everything goes active, right? So you don't know what kind of state your phone might be in and that. So I see it.
Right.
It hasn't happened to me.
Okay.
Hasn't happened to me.
It's happened to me a few times where I look in like, just like how you say, I'll look in like the little text message spot and I'll just see random characters and I'll be
like keyboard.
I wonder if this person is wondering like, am I ever gonna finish this conversation or this thought that I have? Yeah, but I know you do it on purpose now, you dirtbag.
Chia. And that's it. We here at the end, man.
We are here.
We are here. So the Soul Say the Sons for the week. Soul Say the Sons for this week says, failure is the best place to start again better.
Soul Say the Sons.
I think when you get to the point where you feel you're a failure, you've taken a lesson to consider it a failure. So now you have a different kind of trajectory of how you want to go attack said thing.
Yeah.
This consistency is the key, right?
It is.
Discipline, dedication, determination and stuff are other factors that help sway. But I feel like if you're trying to start, okay, like us, we started a podcast in one type of particular manner, right? But you weren't seeing our faces. You weren't seeing me rock shades and stuff for a full episode and stuff. Until today, folks. But then, again, as you go along, you're now seeing like, okay, some people think it's just the instant sprinkle this, boom.
Right.
Greatness happens and stuff. Like, no. Discipline, determination, dedication. When you have these things into the mix now, you're like, okay, it's not a full loss because you learned the lesson. Like I said, we're too old to be losing. We're learning.
Yeah.
So now somebody else might consider it a failure mark. We look at it as another learning mark. Like, okay, so we won't be able to win from this perspective. What if we took this, hit a spin on this, and then trajectory from that?
Of course.
And for me, I want to say for the podcast would be the TikTok. I was anti-TikTok. You can go back and check the records and stuff for that. I'm not out here about to do no whip and nay dance. You know, I told you about that song.
Right.
But we're on TikTok and they love us on TikTok.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're like, okay, that would have been a failure and stuff. And I'm like, I can't believe we're going on fucking TikTok. To be like, how are ways that we can utilize the TikTok or even revenue from, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So much more options stuff came up and everything from one bootleg failure.
Yeah.
That's it.
And again, it's just admitting, hey, you know what? We might have been wrong about this whole TikTok thing.
Humility. Goes back to what you were saying in the life skill.
Yeah.
Being humble. Once again, folks, we thank you for rocking with us. Like, comment, subscribe, keep the Associated Sun.
Me and Mr. Isaac Hayes did the show today.
I'm out here, man. I'm out here. Not high. Once again, here you go. Ding, ding.
Not
ding,
yet.
Ding, ding. Stay tuned.
Not yet.
Once again, thank you for listening to Podical Sons. Remember the difference between genius and stupidity. That genius has its limits. Peace and love. Y'all be safe out there.
Peace.
The Podical Sons was not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.